Why would I mind?
Because they.
Don't get hit by the door.
Hmm?
Don't get hit by the door.
Snow started.
Yep.
I can use this too, right? Put it on.
Mhm.
But then they,
We can just kind of play it by ear.
Yeah.
It's fine.
They want to.
I don't think they're really looking for you. I think they just want to hear
You
you.
never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Can I give you a mic too that you?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. What?
Sarah, I'm sorry. Did you say something?
Takes me another job, but
Yeah.
missing that, yeah. I was surprised it's ready.
Right in the lobby.
Yeah, the back job.
I guess they're not expecting many people to come in.
I think this is about it, right?
Yeah.
We're all here.
Yeah, okay, sounds good.
Um,
All right, bye.
just, you know, they just. I
A
sent
lot of
them the
schools
names.
closed, like completely.
A lot of them.
I think so, because of the
I know Lewis and Rockland both closed all day. I didn't see Portland's closed. I was giving a scroll into honestly, but I was shocked that I was.
Well, did you guys win the game?
No.
You didn't know.
I think I know, in Lewiston's case at least, they hadn't used their snow day quota yet.
Oh,
So
right.
they were gonna take a day, a random day off in March, so maybe they like shuffled and just was, let's take the full day today to
I
use
bet
up.
teachers aren't psyched about that either, though. Like kids and teachers.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
day off when it's nice.
Right, although, yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
don't
snow
know.
is fun to play in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hadn't, Brunswick hadn't used the snow day yet, so they called it at like 5 p.m.
Yeah, so I guess
They're like,
that's
"Ah,
why,
no,
in some
yeah."
cases, they must have just been calling them.
The last time I saw it was at the,
Yeah. Oh, hey. How's it going?
Oh,
good, nice to meet you.
police.
Well, I met you at CMA meets.
Oh, yeah.
My son was a CMA.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Swim with your daughter. And now my daughter swims with your daughter. She joined the teachers.
Oh, she did? Oh, so
You
are you going
better
to
have
school?
teaches, right?
I was gonna go on Sunday, but.
Yeah.
We're leaving
Better at the
tomorrow
game.
morning, just
Yes.
having fun.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like your daughter was up there.
That's right.
Yeah, she was, I have two daughters
She-
actually,
yeah,
freshman and
I-
sophomore. They're
Six, five,
they're
seven,
soccer
so
players.
5 a.m.
Oh, right.
Snow day,
And
text,
older ones.
right? Like, you lucky dog.
Yeah, they called
Yeah.
it, they called it early. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't even, like, they did last night before dinner.
Yeah, you said you're over Brunswick, so yeah. Yeah, I think it must have been early that you called for Lewiston.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, sweet deal.
Yeah.
We've had 3 like police stars.
Well, we went down to.
Such a big.
I'm sure for parents.
Oh, it's not for this road.
Well, yeah, because at least I guess if there's one more day, you feel like, okay, this
Yeah,
is what we're doing.
yeah, but nobody can do the math. Nobody can do the math of like, okay, 2 hours, it's like, you know, yeah, like, it's
Yeah, Bridget, my
I'm
daughter.
sure, yeah.
I'm pretty sure kind of we know, and this is her fault, right?
Yeah.
And then I saw one of the places has the late start, and I was like, that's so that's gonna be totally different than like the snow, because you wouldn't do it the late start.
For this,
Yeah, I was like, that's the best part, someone did the wrong thing in.
Yeah, that's not, that can't.
Yeah.
Come home.
That's awesome.
Bridget doesn't really work.
She's off that
We
week.
did
She's
hockey
lucky.
last year. That's one of the
Yeah.
but
She'd go
my
for
other
it.
one works at least.
Tell me,
Oh, okay, yes.
She can pick up a shift. She'll come home.
We're taking, I just finally went to, place next door that's connected to
you know,
it, same
with,
owners.
oh,
I
yeah.
will,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Post dates.
Oh, yeah,
States
yeah.
right next to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still there and, water.
Paradise
So,
Island, I went there crazy.
yeah, that looks pretty cool, I think. You know, it goes quiet for a year and then all of a sudden, boom,
What do you want?
yeah,
So,
I guess we'll find out right now. Is there anything else you have planned?
Yeah, that's what we're
So like see if we can talk to people.
So your daughter's enjoying it up there?
So we'll head over there after this.
Yeah, and we could do a live
Oh, I
tomorrow,
forgot about that.
at noon, but I can reach, I was trying to few people on Facebook.
Because,
We didn't pressure him.
the content Haley made last night, I was like looking and I ended up looking up Davey's
It's
music.
pretty good
He's
dog.
a-
And I was like watching his videos.
They have parallel, right? It's not about- Yeah, they have a
Like,
link.
people, like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Nick's gonna,
Yep.
like, answer.
I was also like, why is he so
No, she's
funny? It always makes me so
Because he's a
suspicious.
musician.
Yeah, exactly.
And I said, I didn't even look him up. It
Oh,
was
no,
like
great to go up.
his email,
Yeah.
like music.
Like a main rapper.
And like he's giving us his like music, he's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
they're-
Obviously we wanna talk to somebody,
I like
I
it
just
actually
knew
when,
reaching out to him, that like he
a
was,
lot of stuff.
you know, probably not gonna respond.
Yeah.
I wish you would just like tell people to give phone numbers.
Yeah, so much easier.
It's like, well, check their email,
Yeah.
unless it's like their work
City
one.
manager, city manager?
For their music
Sean,
email.
Sean Riley, his daughter,
But he didn't even
his daughter
respond,
was a
so.
RA at St. Joe's.
I
Oh,
told
really?
him,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would like his
Patty's
guitar.
daughter, right?
So should I have an interview?
Okay.
It's a great campus, I love it.
You have to travel this weekend too?
I was gonna go on Sunday. She's,
Yeah, I was thinking.
she wasn't she wasn't a club swimmer. She was just
Was it like your daughter?
did a couple years of high school. So she comes in last and all the races, but she's passing
My
and
oldest
passing
daughter
cars.
tracks out.
Yeah, so she won't make finals or anything. I was gonna go Sunday.
I don't know who got one. I don't know what shirt Sam got.
It was Donovan that
Donovan,
got
yeah.
that.
Pink St. Joe's swim caps with their names.
Oh, really?
logoed on 'em.
Oh, cool. All right.
Mhm.
Ask her. But I'm gonna try to go Sunday. My wife doesn't really want to go, but who knows? Like she might not swim this morning.
Right, exactly.
We'll already watch this one.
Oh, see, oh, I had, I was calling, some cheerleading competitions.
Kids in school today? Yeah, it's fun. Nice pool.
Everybody gets so
So it's not,
excited.
I got the hotel right here and the pool's right here, so I just gotta walk out the door instead of dealing with the traffic and stuff, so
Yeah.
it'll be good.
And Finn came and watched too.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it.
That's all set.
Yeah. So how are the fish doing? You know?
I heard they're doing good, they're now they're down a little bit, but, they're doing okay. Actually, I called the diving, championships last night. Well, prelims for the championships at the South Bolton Pool, and there were a couple of kids from there. And they said that things seem to be going good, so,
Do you know when Southwestern is right now?
Okay, so Southwestern's for girls is Saturday, right?
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Saturday, and because they combined, because I was supposed to call the championship, South guys, last night was North, I was supposed to call but they canceled it, and then they got it combined with Saturday, that I was supposed to call, but because they put GNAPs on this weekend, I'm not calling the Southwestern this weekend, so. I may go up to the States and call you, you know, I don't know yet, so, that's good, but.
Well, good. Well, maybe I'll see you on Sunday. I love that pool. I remember CMA had a meet there. And I went down to watch.
Be careful driving.
Yeah, you too.
Well, tomorrow midday, and then, she starts at 4, so we'll see.
Hey, coming out. How's it going?
Anybody want me to do anything preliminary before we start? No? Okay, thank you everyone for coming. My name is Dan Ahern, A-H-E-R-N. I'm the police chief here in South Portland. Approximately 3:40 p.m. yesterday, Portland Regional Dispatch received several 911 calls for a shooting at the mall near the food court with one person injured. All South Portland officers responded to the mall immediately. First units entered the food court and found one male who had suffered a gunshot wound to the upper leg. Mall security staff had already applied a tourniquet to his leg with follow-up care and transport by our South Portland fire paramedics. I'm going to let Fire Chief Selberg speak a little bit about the care of that individual at the time.
Thank you, Chief. Phil Selberg, that's spelled S-E-L-B-E-R-G. I'm the fire chief for the city of South Portland. What we've learned over the past few years, tragically, is how important it is for EMS providers to make very fast contact with patients who have been involved in shootings. And all I can say is what the response was yesterday was absolutely textbook. Patrol officers immediately engaged to create a safe corridor for our EMS providers, which provided immediate access for those folks to get in, provide treatment, stabilize a critical patient, and get them delivered to tertiary care at Maine Medical Center, which was definitely life-saving. So I'd like to commend all the responders from yesterday. This is exactly how we train and what we train for, and it went perfectly. Thank you, Chief.
I can't agree more with the fire chief. The care that this person received pre-arrival to the medical center likely saved his life. Upon our arrival, we quickly determined that this was an isolated incident between two individuals and not a mass casualty incident, which we all suspected when we were arriving to the mall. Officers began a slow, methodical search of the mall for the suspect. Upon our investigation, we determined through view of video surveillance that the shooter had likely left the mall via the front entrance to the food court. We also believe that he may have entered a silver-colored four-door sedan. We're tracking down that vehicle as we speak. Search operation transitioned to an orderly evacuation of the mall. Staff was instructed per their policies and practices to safeguard themselves inside their businesses, lock and not come out until told to do so by law enforcement. Once the mall was fully evacuated, we terminated the search operation and returned the mall to staff at approximately 7:30 p.m. Several people need to be commended and thanked for the response to the mall yesterday, for what everyone first and initially thought was an active shooter at the mall. Not only our officers and our firefighters heroically responded there immediately, but I also want to thank our law enforcement partners that responded to assist us in this operation. This is a very, very difficult operation. As you can imagine, that mall is huge, largest mall in Maine. It took a long time, a lot of effort, and a lot of staff to secure that scene, to lock it down, and to make it safe for everyone. Portland Police Department, Scarborough Police, including Scarborough Fire that came with their command van that was instrumental in securing this scene. Cape Elizabeth, Gorham, Westbrook, team, and when he arrived, he said, "Chief, what do you need and what can I do?" Everyone that responded yesterday came to me, or the fire chief, and said, "What do you need? What can we do?" State Police, FBI, ATF. We had ATF agents blocking entrances to the parking lot of the mall because that's what we asked them to do. When they said, "What can we do and how can we help?" Well, that's what we needed. There are 15 separate entrances to the mall to secure that mall from anyone entering into a very dangerous place. That's a lot of people. That's 3 times our daily staff. We could not have done it without that law enforcement efforts by our partners. Again, can't say enough about their response. Our officers, firefighters, incredible to watch them. Both the fire chief and I were in the command post for most of the night. We were working on the unified command, which, as the fire chief said, that's how we train. We are trained, unfortunately, to respond to these incidents at the mall. We train with mall staff. Mall staff did exactly what they're trained to do. This incident, we were very fortunate that it was an isolated incident, but we responded to what we thought was an active shooter at the mall. And so did every other law enforcement officer that was responding there. 295, 95, lights and sirens, state police, everyone was going to that mall to help us yesterday, and again, I can't thank them enough. Anyone that has information about this incident is encouraged to contact Lieutenant Chris Todd here at the South Portland Police Department. We are actively seeking the shooter. We have identified him, we know who he is, we're still trying to locate him and bring him into custody. Is the public safe? Yes, the public is safe. It's hard to say, well, how can he be safe? How can the public be safe if he's not in custody? Well, we're not sure that he's even in the state of Maine. We're still conducting a thorough search and using our forensic tools to find out where he is and locate him. We're hoping to come to a resolution sometime later today where we have located him and brought him into custody. Then, yes, absolutely, the community will be absolutely safe. But we don't think that anyone should be worried that he's, roaming around here in the city of South Portland. However, he should be considered armed and dangerous if you do encounter him. We're asking if you have information to contact Lieutenant Chris Todd. I will take some brief, if you have any, I'll take them now.
I think people really want to know the relationship between the suspect, the victim. Was it two guys that knew each other, got into a fight in the bathroom, and is it drug related?
Well, according to him, and he's stating that he doesn't know this person.
What's the update on the victim?
The victim is out of surgery and doing well.
Some mall employees were saying there's a lot of confusion, obviously, yesterday. Was there any announcements that went out to evacuate, anything like that, do you know?
Announcements to whom?
To the people in the mall, to evacuate, anything like that?
When we entered the mall, there was an evacuation message over the loudspeaker going on, please evacuate, please secure. So there is a policy in place by the mall. When this happens, they went into that lockdown procedure. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but they have a way to communicate with their staff via an app, and that app went out to secure in place until police relieve you or come in and tell you that it's secure. So they use that app to notify people, staff, and tenants inside the mall. But we reviewed video surveillance of the food court, and when that shots rang out, people were fleeing, as you would imagine. So when officers fleeing the mall, very, very difficult situation.
Was the gun recovered?
We do not have a recovery of the gun.
Does the mall have security, and what was their role?
One of the mall security personnel was instrumental in helping Lieutenant Kevin Terrio, who was taking point inside the mall, and assisting him in our methodical search.
Some of the employees were saying they've never had active shooter training out there, they didn't really know what to do. Your thoughts about that?
I can't comment on that. You'd have to contact the mall personnel.
Do you plan on having anything, training going on?
We do training with the mall. We train at the mall for active shooter scenarios. I have met with my command staff with previous general managers of the mall, and so we have had training there. Whom you're talking about and who you're talking to, I don't know.
Was the response that you saw consistent with that training for the mass shooting at the mall?
Yes.
The suspect from Westbrook, is that what I understand?
We believe he's from Westbrook. We recently encountered him here in the city of South Portland. We believe he's last living out of his car.
Why do you think he's out of state? How are you trying to track him down?
We're using law enforcement tools, and we're trying to use those tools to locate him.
Are you naming the suspect?
We have named the suspect in a press release already.
What is the victim been able to tell you?
The victim is not telling us very much.
Can you, maybe one of you two can talk about the victim's status, like was it a bad wound, I'm assuming? Is it life-saving procedures taken to hit like an artery?
Sure. So for traumatic events, definitive care wound was in his right leg. So a major artery does run through his right leg. I can't tell you whether or not that artery was severed, but he did show signs of significant hemorrhage, and that is what he was treated for.
Do you know how he's doing right now?
I don't. You'd have to talk to Maine Medical Center for that.
What is the age of this victim?
I don't know that off the top of my head, sir. I'm sorry.
Chris, do you know? Lieutenant Chris Todd.
He's in his late 20s. And I'll address, I think you asked about the mall security. I was one of the first ones through the door just by happenstance because I was out in that area. And I've reviewed all the mall security footage from when this happened, and there were two employees, mall security officers. The second the gunshots went off and everybody else ran out, they ran to where the gunshots came from. And when I got there, there were two of them, and they were make the condition a lot better for when fire and rescue got there. So they did help. And another thing, just to touch on, somebody asked about training. We train at the mall. Like, we go out in our tactical, we have no idea what they do. We train ourselves out there. So we're ready for this kind of stuff.
Is it accurate to say this happened in the bathroom, the common bathroom?
Yes. Yep.
Do you think that this could spur some sort of collaboration between you and mall staff for future events?
Yes, we will learn from these events as we always do, and we will endeavor to train with mall partners there. What hasn't been asked is we will be seeking a charge of elevated aggravated assault. with further charges to come, possibly once the DA reviews this case. I don't know about any out-of-state ties, but last known.
Before, previously, do you have a history with him? Does he have a history with others?
Recent incident where we were patrolling our lots out in the west end, there was a parked car there, and we encountered him, and we identified him through what we call an FI check.
Is he believed to be alone and no one's helping him escape, or?
I'm not going to answer that question right now. Anything else? If we have further questions, our communications director, Shara D., excellent at answering everyone's questions. I know that you all work well with her, so if you have additional questions, you can reach out to her and we can update our answers and whatever more information we have as the day unfolds. Everybody good? All right, thank you. All right, right through that door. I got it.
Yeah, because I have to pitch at noon. That was like one of the concerns. And so maybe we can.